Our next guest is Cathie Hamilton, who works in Vancouver but lives in Surrey, British Columbia. And she's working with some meat that I love to work with, any tenderloin of any cut of meat. But she's going to have stuffed pork tenderloin with brown rice pilaf. I've never had the brown rice stuffing on a pork tenderloin.
It's actually a side dish, but it's really nice. It's kind of a really nutty flavor. So we're just going to start with a pilaf right now by putting the vegetables in. We've got carrots, celery, onion, and a pasilla pepper.
Do those all go in here?
Just put those right in there.
We have a little oil in here.
Yeah. It's sort of a classic mirepoix, but I've added the pasilla peppers as well. So the idea,
and they're so nice with pork.
Oh, they're just beautiful.
Fresh vegetables and that are going to be wonderful.
So we're just going to saute that quickly, and I'm just going to start on the pork because I know Carol's going to be more than able to do that. I'm just going to take the silver skin off. Now you can get your butcher to do this if you want, George.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard to do.
But this is a step that you want to be sure not to skip on, because if you don't take the silver skin out, your pork loin will curl up when you cook it.
And then to stuff it, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it like this. And then just butterfly it so that it's open really nicely. So then this is, you know, when sometimes around the holidays you get really frustrated and you have high anxiety levels. This is a great dish to make those times because all you're going to do is just butterfly it like that. I'll put my knife down so I don't stab anything. And then you grab your mallet and you pound the heck out of it.
Take all your
really not
frustrations out
going
right
to do
now.
all of this. But this is a great, all of a sudden, no frustrations left.
No frustrations
But
at all.
It's the Angry Housewives Club.
Okay, I'm going to put that over to the side. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands here. And I'm just going to start with the ingredients for the stuffing.
Good.
So I have a red onion that I'm just going to very quickly julienne.
Is there a reason to use a red onion? Does a red onion taste differently?
It's a little bit,
its own flavor.
a little bit
Does it?
sweeter. You know,
Sometimes they can be a bit hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes if I was making a salsa, I'd actually marinate them, just put them in a bit of water first. And then I'm going to take my beautiful papaya.
Oh, that is
Usually
nice
I do.
Look at
This is
that.
a
Look at
ripe
the color.
one versus a green one.
Yes. Usually I cook with more local ingredients, but I wanted something a little bit more exotic sometimes for the holidays. But you could actually just adapt this recipe really easily and make it local ingredients. Buy fresh apples and sage,
Oh, yeah.
sure, rather than the papaya. And I'm going to use a little bit of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, don't use cilantro. Just leave it out. Parsley. So that's just one of those funny things, though. People either love it or they hate it.
Yes, I found that to be very true.
Yeah, I think I've only met one person in all the years I've been cooking that actually says, yeah, I could take it or leave it. Usually they hate it. You just want to make sure that you get all those seeds out. These seeds, actually they're used in some cuisines.
I was going to ask you, do they ever
Asian
use the
cuisine.
seeds?
Yes, they do.
Very peppery. Not something that I like. So once those vegetables are kind of cooked down, Carol, we can actually take them out and put them in the casserole. And then we're going to just quickly saute the rice as well. The reason I use brown rice is because everything's going to cook at the same time. It takes about 45 minutes to cook this entire meal. Everything goes in the oven, so you can sit down and have a drink before dinner. And I'm just going to julienne this as well. You leave a few seeds in, it's not going to hurt.
You know, Cathie, if you pre-measure the things like you've done here, your time in the kitchen really is cut way, way down.
It's called mise en place. Everything in place.
Kathy, would you like me to put the rice in here
Yeah,
now?
please, Carol. Thank you so much.
We're going to toast this a bit.
Yeah, you just want to toast it to develop the nutty flavor. Of course,
This is an essential part of pilaf making.
yes, very definitely. If you skip that step, it's not pilaf. Whoops, I missed a little bit of skin here. I don't think I want to cut myself on camera, so we'll just take that right off. And then I'm just going to quickly chop my jalapeno pepper. It's funny, I was working with jalapeno peppers last night, and we went out for dinner, and we had some finger food, and I thought, boy, this is really spicy. And my husband says, it's not spicy, honey. Okay, it's the jalapenos that are still on my fingers from last night. I've been prepping this yesterday, so.
You need to be sure to wash your hands very well after working
very
with
well.
those.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use a little bit of cilantro here. I'm just going to chop it roughly. It's interesting in Thai cuisine, they use a lot of cilantro. They really value the stems.
And even the roots.
And the roots,
quite
yeah.
often, yes. And the stems have really a lot of flavor to them.
Well, when you're cooking like this, you really want to make sure that you've got some, that you've got the stems as well, because otherwise they'll hold up a little bit better to cooking, because you know cilantro is quite,
It's delicate.
they're very delicate. So all I'm going to do is just take, I actually have one cooked.
one?
Yes,
Okay.
please. Or not cooked, but prepped. And I sometimes will tie them quite elaborately, but I just wanted to make it really easy. So I'm just going to put this down here. Let's move my onions. I just want to season it lightly with a little bit of salt. And I think my pepper mill's over there, Carol.
There you go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, this is just like the one you cut before, and you cut and so it butterflies out, and you got lots
Yeah,
of room.
so you
Isn't
have
it
lots
lovely?
of room. There's a few seeds in here. But it's really colorful. Now, the other thing that you can do, if you don't want to go to all of this elaborateness, you can actually just make like a little salsa of these ingredients and just make a hole in the middle of the pork and just, with a knife, just enlarge it with a little bit of a spoon. And then you want to, you can just put all your ingredients in.
This is something where people can kind of use their own favorite ingredients. Can't
Yes.
They? Yeah.
Yeah, can you
Yes.
imagine this dish with apple and sage? It would be absolutely fantastic.
That
pears.
sounds awfully nice to me.
I'm on a pear kick right now.
Well, who wouldn't be with this pears this time of year? Okay, and I'm just going to quickly tie it up. This is always a challenge when we'll have to stuff everything back in. But actually, so I just have my strings laid out here. Just want to make sure that everything
Good
comes
idea.
up.
See how
Makes it a
organized
lot
she
easier,
was?
doesn't
Lay
it?
the strings out first. Now, see?
Yes. I've been told that I'm a little bit on the anal side.
No, it's fun. I think it's great.
I'm proud of it. So, I think I rehearsed this in my sleep last night. So you just want to tie it all up. You want to make sure. And you know what? If the stuffing comes out a little bit, don't worry about it. It's
Yeah.
going to cook
Down too, isn't it?
It's going to cook down. Also, by the time you flip this over, a couple lay in the bottom of the pan, it adds more flavor. So
Just finish tying that up, and then what
we
happens
actually
next?
have one made over there.
Already tied up.
Yeah, so I'm just going to
Do
take
a swap out with
let's
George
do
here.
a swap out. Perfect.
There we go. That's a beauty. There you go.
Thank you, George. See some of the ingredients that I said don't go in there, but that's okay, save them later. And all I'm gonna do is just make a quick rub. And this will just, so the rice can just go in. Oh, we have to add the chicken stock to that.
Right in here, in our
Yes,
casserole.
please. Yeah, just in the casserole. And it
We
can
have
just
our
go.
veggies and our rice that we lightly toasted.
Now I would tell you all the
Look
measurements.
at this chicken stock. Did you make this?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Save all my bones and everything. This is a little bit of Mexican oregano. I was kind of afraid to bring this over the border. You know, we live in BC, bud.
Oh,
They
that's
never
right.
asked, never said anything. I wasn't going to tell them.
That's right.
A little bit of salt.
It's just
little
pork,
bit-
folks. It's just pork.
Be calm. A little bit of lime juice. So there is some Southwest seasonings for this.
It looks good to me.
Oh,
Smells wonderful.
and then we want exactly a teaspoon of oil. Carol and I were talking about this.
Exactly. Oh, that looks good.
Oh, that's perfect.
Exactly.
That's perfect. I know that was
She
exactly
measures
a
like I
teaspoon.
do.
And then all you're going to do is just rub some love into your meat.
Oh, very
Like
nice.
that. So you've got flavoring on the inside, you've
Yeah.
got flavoring on the outside, you've got that beautiful dish there.
Is this ready to go in the oven?
That's ready to go in the oven.
So we're going to put a cover on it and put this right into the oven.
Okay,
Take that.
thank you, George. We'll take we already have a pork tenderloin in the oven,
Right?
roasting off. So we can take this. And then we're just going to finish the rice.
I'll take that.
Thank you, George.
In a minute.
I
There we
think
go.
actually we should probably cook that later. I think the
Yeah.
staff might be hungry.
I think possible.
If we were to take bets, what would you think, George? I think they're probably hungry.
I think they eat it. Yeah, uh-huh.
I think
Yeah.
they're
Or,
hungry.
or we could fight
could
over
eat
it
it.
and one of us could take it home.
We
Yeah,
could,
but
yeah.
Oh, dinner for tonight.
That isn't going to fly, folks. Believe me, it's not going to fly.
So then just because we've cooked down the vegetables and the rice take about 45 minutes to cook. So all of those vegetables are going to be kind of cooked down a little bit. So I like to add a little bit of freshness at the very end. So if we can get the rice.
You have peeled and seeded tomatoes.
Peeled and tomato
nice.
concassé. Yes. You know, you just want to drop your tomatoes, make a little cross on the ends, and drop your. And I use Roma tomatoes, I must admit, for this. Otherwise, the other
because
ones.
they're nice and meaty.
Yeah, you
They're
really
not mealy.
need that meatiness. So, and I'm just going to chop up a little bit of cilantro. So we can just take that rice that was finished.
Mm-hmm. I'll bring that over.
See, we have in our house. I do the cooking. My husband does the dishes. That's why we have all these dishes here.
Is he here?
Yeah, he is. My moral support.
Okay, I was hoping he was going to do dishes.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so you can see most of the vegetables are really cooked down. So all we're going to do is just going to add in the pasilla
A bit
pepper.
more of the pasilla chili. It's going to give it a little bit of crunch.
Tomatoes. Oh, yeah, well, you want that
Nice.
crunch. It's about textures and everything, and just a little bit of cilantro.
Yeah.
Look at that beautiful brown rice.
Isn't that?
Well, the beauty with this is, you know, there's only 2 teaspoons of oil in the entire dish. So
Talk
it's
about
really,
presentation. So look at that color.
It's
yeah,
gorgeous.
this is going to be beautiful. We're just going to put that on the
Very,
plate.
very nice.
And we'll bring the pork tenderloin that was already baked in. We'll just slice that up.
All right, I'll get these.
We'll just put those in here.
Oh,
Thank you,
if
George.
only you could all smell this at home.
Oh my.
Wow.
Now I am going to put, you could actually just deglaze this pan a little bit.
Yeah, because the taste down there is really awfully
yeah.
good.
You don't want to make sure that you cut the strain off. Of course, you know, you could leave the strain on if you wanted your guests to floss their teeth at the same time they were eating dinner. That's why.
Probably not.
Probably not. So I'm just going to slice this up and just present it on the plate. But you can see, you can smell the flavors
Oh,
that
it's
came
wonderful.
off that. Oh, the beautiful rub and everything. Okay, there's all my string. Oops.
Got it.
Thank you, George. Gosh, you're a great sous chef.
Well, you know,
I
somebody's
think you've
got to
done
handle
this
the
once
string,
at a
folks.
time. It's a little bit warm
Oh.
because we really are cooking here.
Let me get this out of your way.
That's great, thank you. Then here we have a little bit more strain. Now I know everybody that knows me would be really surprised that I actually counted the amounts of strain that I put on. Not.
Like a surgical nurse?
Yeah, yeah. But you can see the beautiful presentation
Oh, wow,
inside.
look
that
at
is
that.
beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm just going to plate this quickly. Oh,
Look at the center of that, folks. Isn't that beautiful? And again, you talk about presentation. Isn't that going to look wonderful on a plate? I'm going to tell you.
yes. And again, it's super nice because everything's done in the oven. So you can have, this is a little bit hot. I do a fair bit of cooking, so
It would be good to have a few minutes for it to have.
Yeah, actually,
minute
it
to stand.
did rest for about
Okay,
10 minutes.
good.
That's why the juices aren't sort of falling out of
it's
it.
beautiful.
So we cooked this. We did
Yeah.
cook this here today. Oops.
It is
Oh,
beautiful.
my stuffing fell out here. Just put it
There you
back
go.
in its
Put it back.
place.
Sure.
There we go. But you can imagine putting a platter like that down for the holidays. Oh,
Very nice.
so. Are you guys going to taste?
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Is it nice?
Isn't it beautiful?
And
Yeah.
again, the flavors are good, but it's really not that high in fat, but it's really high in flavors.
Well, that's the important thing because that's what people are going to be eating. But
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
I'd be so disappointed if you didn't.
I'd be disappointed if I didn't.
You'd be hungry if you didn't.
My goodness.
You see all the flavors. You could deglaze that pan with a little bit of
Oh, yeah.
wine and pour it just over the pan juices.
Doesn't that go wonderful together?
That
with
pork
with
is melt in your mouth tender.
It's
It is
all the
fantastic.
aggressions. And I was doing this last night, taking out all my aggressions. It makes it very
If you
generous.
pre-measure, you can do this in the same length of time that it took Cathie, except for the cooking time. Please give us a call because this food is outstanding, and you're going to be a hero in your own kitchen. So give us a call.
You're going to want to make this.
Thank you very much. That was
Thanks. This is
wonderful.
you.
great.
Thank you very much.